Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for being here. Dr. Tabor Smith, and today we are going to be, I got a lot of stuff to cover. We're going to be talking about the film A Better Way. Again, I just want to thank you so much for being here because we have a lot of really, really, really cool announcements to make. And we're going to get to watch a featurette. We're calling it a featurette called Becky's Story. It is going to be a 25-minute film that we'll get to see right here on this platform, on this software. And what I'm going to go ahead and do, I am going to release or open a button that's going to pop up underneath this video. I'm going to go ahead and just make it active right now, and I'll tell you more about it here in just a second. Basically, what I'm going to do tonight is ask you to join with us, become a partner, and help us to share this message. Help us to get this movie out, the big feature-length film especially, out to the public. And that's what that link below will do. You can click on it or you can click on it later. But we've already had about a dozen docs. I mean, there's only been one showing of this film. You're about to see the second showing right now. But we've already had about a dozen docs join with us, say we're going to help you get this out to as many people as we possibly can. And not just showing it in your office, which I think is going to be hugely beneficial for you because, trust me, you want your patients to know this message. You want other people in your community to see this message because I think it'll drive people into your practice. It'll make it easier for you to share the message of chiropractic. But as well, what we want to do is we've talked with some experts, and we're trying to get this movie, A Better Way, to Netflix, and it has a shot, right? It's already been accepted by Amazon Prime, but some of the experts say that we really need to put a lot of money behind the advertising of it when we do launch it. And the feature-length film is expected to be launched this winter. We're thinking November is probably going to be when the big launch is. So we want to get as many partners on board as we possibly can so we can get this out to your communities. We can have it in as many theaters as possible. We can play it, if you want to keep it low budget, in your offices. And we want to be able to pour like $15,000, $20,000 into online advertising, getting this movie out to the public, and we've got to generate some funds to be able to do that. And that's why we've created a partnership package that helps you get early access to the film. We're gonna get you in a private partner Facebook group where we're going to work together to launch this whenever the world premiere comes. It's going to be awesome. You're going to get a dinner and a movie package that we put together, and this 25-minute version that I'm going to show you tonight. All right, so hold tight. I'm going to show you this version of the movie tonight. It's not the movie, okay? It's actually a story that we filmed in an interview process, and it was going to be part of the movie, but now it's not. It's its own 25-minute version. It is not going to be released to the public. So you're the only one that's going to see it. And if you become a partner, you're the only one that's going to have it. So the public has to actually go to your office to see this version of the movie. Plus, all of our partners are going to get promotional materials, movie posters, the email templates, social media posts, just really everything you need to help get this message out to your community. And this is our shot, guys. This is our shot right now. If you look on Netflix, there's over 1,000 documentaries, health documentaries on Netflix. I don't know if they're all health. There's well over 1,000 documentaries, and most of them are about health. But if you search chiropractic, do it tonight. If you have Netflix, search chiropractic in there in the documentary section. There is not one movie. We don't have one documentary, not one movie on Netflix about chiropractic. I mean, how crazy is that? Out of thousands of health documentaries, not one of them is focused on chiropractic, and we need that. And here's the thing. I know there's been documentaries done in the past. I do not believe, of course I'm biased, but I don't believe they're even going to be near as good as this one. But also, they weren't filmed in Netflix quality standards, so they can never be on Netflix, okay? This film it was done all Netflix quality standards, so if we could get it there, it has a shot. It has a possibility of actually doing it. But we've got to generate some funds, and I promise every dime that you invest and become a partner, it's only a one-time fee. This is not a membership. Will go towards ads for the movie and getting the movie out there. So you're actually helping chiropractic, and then the movie's also going to help you to be able to share this message with your patients. So anyway, that's the pitch. I know I started with the pitch, which is crazy. You don't do that, but I just want to get it out there in the open and ask you, please become a partner. Help us to share this message. We're going to put everything that's donated, I guess you could say, or all the funds that are being used through the purchase of this program is all going to go towards promoting the movie. All right. Now, let's talk about the movie. Okay, so the movie is going to be amazing. We have Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who we've interviewed, and he just blows it away. I mean, he blows the doors off of Big Pharma, like literally holds nothing back. He shares like 7 different ways that Big Pharma is lying and manipulating the public. It's going to be it's seriously, I can't wait till you see it. We've interviewed Chris Zano. We got his story. He tells his story in this movie. Shiloh Harris, I don't know if you know him, but he's a Purple Heart winner or award. He was awarded the Purple Heart for his bravery and honor. And when he fought in Iraq, he was injured in Iraq. His Humvee hit a landmine and it injured him really bad. He's had over 70 surgeries. He was put on some of the strongest opioids, and he was left on those opioids for years, and he became so dependent and so addicted to opioids that he tells a story. He tried to take his life, basically, and he realized that something had to change. He needed help, and because he found chiropractic, he literally shares that story. Because he found chiropractic, life was completely changed. We have another interview that we did with a 2-year-old who had seizures, who was on all kinds of medications, and through his transformation of health, got completely off all medications and is doing amazing. All that's in the movie. And what I want to do is I want to share, some of you who haven't seen the trailer for the actual movie, the full feature-length movie, I want to share that with you right now. And this will be the first time I've actually ever shared a video through this software. So I'm hoping it works well. And there is a chat section. So if something's not working for some reason, please put in the chat. Let me know that you can't hear it or you can't see it or something. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play the movie trailer. This is the feature-length movie trailer. It's only going to take about 2.5 minutes. So here we go.
We don't have what I would call a healthcare system. We have a disease care system.
Why are we getting sicker, even more so in the last 50 to 100 years?
Here I won Mr. America 1998. I was diagnosed with an incurable terminal disease called ulcerative colitis. And they put me on a lot of drugs, such as prednisone, which is the nastiest drug out there. Prednisone gave me anxiety, so I was on Xanax and Valium, which later I became addicted to.
Americans consume more than 50% of prescribed drugs worldwide. How's that possible?
My mom passed away at the age of 47, taking 21 prescription medications. Every time she had a symptom, they just gave her another drug. People need to understand, just because you cover up your symptom with a medication doesn't mean you're healthy.
About 21 or 22% of the United States GDP is being spent on illness. If everyone just suddenly got well tomorrow, it would be an economic catastrophe.
You have a greater risk of dying from an opioid drug than you do a car accident.
We're talking about how people can change their lives, and the biggest hindrance to them changing their lives is Big Pharma and the medical industry saying this is the only way you can be healed. But in reality, it's not healing.
Children coming in for repeated hospitalizations.
Increase in the amount of vaccines and the increase in the bad food and the bad oxygen and the bad water.
Depression, anxiety disorders in 9-year-olds.
There has to be a change. The time is right, and take back our health.
I think the problem really is not the fact that there is willfulness not to accept it. It's just that there's not enough truth that's not skewed.
The habits we choose to do today that are going to make an impact on down the road.
We're going to have to wake up as a society if we're going to fix this healthcare crisis.
Adults aren't the only ones affected by this major health crisis we're in today. Entire families are broken. Children are exposed to more drugs and more toxins than ever before.
My mom was on antidepressant medications and anxiety. She was just sick and tired all the time. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a natural way to get people healthy.
All right, so that's the trailer. It's powerful, right? And that movie again should be coming out probably November, and we're trying to get as many partners on board to help us share that movie with as many people as we can. This country, but this world, really, everyone needs to see this and needs to hear this. So that's the feature-length movie. Next, what I want to show you is what we're calling the short film, or Becky's Story. It's a 25-minute film, and let me tell you just a little bit about it. So when we were when filming the main movie, the feature-length movie, we interviewed multiple different testimonials, all amazing stories about people, chiropractic, how their lives were changed, they got off their medications. One of those stories was an older lady named Becky, and this story was just, it's exactly what you want your patients to know. All right, let me just say that. When I was thinking about having an hour-and-a-half long feature-length film, I thought that was, it's great. We need that. We need that to get on Netflix. But when I'm doing like a dinner and a movie in my office, or, just a movie night, people don't want to come in and stay for an hour and a half. Or if we're having dinner and a movie at a restaurant in a private room, we don't want to shoot and play an hour-and-a-half long feature-length film. We need about 25-minute film, 30-minute power-packed, chiropractically power-packed film that's going to help motivate people to take action, sign up for exams at the end of the film. Well, I was thinking, what story would we want to tell in that 25 to 30 minutes that people need to hear that would make them take action? Well, let me tell you this. It's not like, as much as I love like crazy life-saving stories when it comes to chiropractic. Like, I heard a story where someone was having a heart attack on a plane, and like a chiropractor snuck up and like adjusted the atlas, and like the guy came back to life or started breathing again. Like, those are super cool stories, but that's not the story we want to play at a dinner and a movie event when we're trying to sign people up, because nobody can relate with that story, really. They might all go, wow, that's awesome that you could adjust an atlas and the heart start beating again. That's super cool. But that's not going to get them to actually take action because their heart's still beating. They don't need that. Well, this story, the Becky story that we're about to show, is exactly what you want your patients to know. She goes through the emotional processes of starting chiropractic, of holding back and not doing chiropractic at first, waiting her life, most of her life, finally having an absolute transformation and saying, why didn't I start earlier? Don't wait. And this is exactly what you want your patients to hear. And in this short film, for everyone who becomes a partner, you're going to get this immediately. So we're going to watch it tonight, but you can actually have this to play in your office. And my office is doing our first movie night this Monday. So October 7th, I think it is. But this Monday, we're doing our first movie night. I'll take pictures, videos, show you guys how it's done and all that stuff. But if you become a partner, you get this clip. You can start doing movie nights next week if you want to. All right? Okay, so that being said, there's a button below here that you can just click and join anytime. It's only $279. That is nothing compared to chiropractic overhead. That's nothing compared to a year of what you're going to spend to try to advertise and get new patients in. And for that much, we can do so much because we're going to put it all towards the movie and getting and advertising it to the public and getting it out there to the public, getting the message of chiropractic to the public. And for just $279 one time, it's all yours. All right. So that's my pitch there. Now we're going to start the movie, the Becky story. All right. So here we go. You guys ready? This is going to be good. Again, I hope, I didn't see anything in the chat. I hope you guys were able to see that video okay, because this is really the first time I've ever played videos on this software. So I hope you heard that and were able to see that as well. All right, guys, here it is. Becky's story. It's going to play right now. I will be back here in about 25 minutes. All right, and here we go.
I don't know about you, I like to tell the truth, but the truth seems to change every Tuesday.
Growing up, my mom was constantly in the hospital. She had health crisis after health crisis, issue after issue, but I have to believe that no matter what you suffer from, there's a better way to live than taking medication after medication after medication to simply mask a pain or mask a symptom and dying at the age of 47. I refuse to accept that. And I'm on a mission to find a better way. A way that I don't care what you have. I don't care what health issue that there is. I don't care what problem is going on in your life. There's always a better way. So take us back and tell us about your story.
My story, as far as my back, my pain really started after I had children. After the second child, the first time it really hit me was just getting some clothes out of the washing machine, and I just went up, and I couldn't move, and that was my first crisis.
And how old were you about then?
About 24. Went to the doctor, and they gave me the usual muscle relaxants. And then we moved to Costa Rica, and I had a real bad episode there. And they put me on something that was called Indocid. I have no idea what it is, but it gave me a horrid headache.
Oh, that's the medication.
The medication, yeah. So I didn't know which was worse, my headache or my back pain. Went to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it got really, really bad, to the point where I could not stretch my left leg at all. It was always up. I went to the doctor, and he kept telling me all women have backaches. He just wasn't listening. Fast forward, I was sitting in a recliner because my back was hurting, and all of a sudden I pushed a button and can't move. Nothing worked. My legs, I couldn't move. I was in so much pain, I could not move.
What were you thinking?
I'm paralyzed.
My mom passed away at the age of 47, taking 21 prescription medications. Every time she had a symptom, they just gave her another drug. People need to understand, just because you cover up your symptom with a medication doesn't mean you're healthy. That kind of thinking is what got us into this health crisis in the first place.
We know that America makes up less than 5% of the world population, yet Americans consume more than 50% of prescribed drugs worldwide. How's that possible? We spend more money per capita in the United States than any country in the world. Compared to Sweden, I think we spend 8 times more per capita. Why is it that we have a sick culture? Well, there's a lot of research going on to discover that.
The biggest problem in our healthcare system is actually how we think about it. Our thinking is totally off, because if you have a certain idea and apply it to the human body and it's a bad idea, it doesn't matter who pays for it. You see? So the concept of how they even approach human body and actually look at it and care of it, it doesn't matter. You can have all these political debates, but let me ask you a question. How are Medicare people doing? They're all-time sick, we spend more money, and just because someone else pays for it doesn't mean we get a good form of healthcare that way. We're actually dealing a lot with the emotional things that they've been conditioned to think with since they were little. You know, it's like all of a sudden they get a fever, take something. They don't feel good, take something. We're actually raising our kids to be emotional drug abusers their whole life, because anytime something goes wrong, they're conditioned to take something.
To me, because you have pain doesn't mean that pain needs to be eliminated. So they have pain and they're like, oh, because I have pain, I gotta get rid of it. Or they expect that because they have pain, all pain should be eliminated. Now, I'm not saying somebody should be in an immense amount of pain, but there is just the pain of life, right? And so our society, because of multiple reasons, has gotten to a point to where we can't really cope with the pains. And that could be physical pain, it could be mental pain, but these pains, We want to eliminate instead of manage.
We think that taking a drug has only one effect. But the reality is you cannot take a drug without having it influence every aspect of our body, right? The liver has to detoxify it, the kidneys have to, clean it out to make sure it doesn't get deeper. The digestive system is digesting it, getting to the areas that it needs to go in.
Well, one thing, the medication has side effects all the time. It makes you feel pretty yucky. And the headaches and my stomach kills me. Advil, I mean, I'm not supposed to take Advil. And also the moving. The medication was just covering up the pain, but it wasn't helping me move.
You can't have a knee pain and take a pain medication for that knee pain to have that knee pain go away without it affecting your digestive tract. In fact, your digestive lining will have small, minuscule bleeding occur from that drug that you just took. It may actually get rid of the pain, but the question becomes, at what cost?
So AMT came and they did all kinds of scans, and same old, and they told me what I knew.
You have back pain.
They told me the same thing I knew. So they put me on muscle relaxants, and they put me on whatever. But it never really went away.
People can change their lives, and the biggest hindrance to them changing their lives is Big Pharma and the medical industry shoving all this stuff down their throats, saying this is the only way you can be healed.
We don't have what I would call a healthcare system. We have a disease care system. And you can really trace it all back to money. Money doesn't change hands when someone gets well. In fact, the flow of money in this system pretty much slows down to a trickle. Money changes hands when we get sick.
In the 90s, we started seeing drug commercials showing up right and left, right? And we started becoming conditioned as society to listen to these commercials, and we were being trained to ask our doctor for X, Y, and Z drugs. And so I feel as if our entire society has become really accustomed to quick fixes. A lot of the drug companies started doing their things to make profit, right? And so they started, it could have been deceptive advertising campaigns, it could have been whatever it was, but we're now in the late, in 2018, 2019, 2020, we are now seeing a massive epidemic of prescription drug overdoses, especially with opioids.
I believe our society has been manipulated by marketers. And because we have been manipulated by marketers, we have lost the ability to think. And we cannot take this lightly because the health of our children, our families are at stake. That is not a laughing matter. It is time that we take this seriously and think.
I'm not anti-medicine at all. And I actually think medicine does have its place in society. The problem is we use it for lifestyle problems. And that's the difference. It's there for crisis intervention. It's not there to substantiate our poor lifestyle choices that we make, whether it's with diet or exercise or negative thinking patterns, whichever we have. Most people tend to be reactive. What people like to do is they like to wait till there's a problem before they do something about their health versus doing something about it proactively.
I was angry because the doctor just kept telling me, well, all women have backaches. You have 3 kids, all women have back. And I said, you don't get this. He did not get it. But I went from that doctor to the neurosurgeon who says, you're not leaving the hospital and doing surgery in the morning. So something was missing there.
Our reliance on prescription medicine could be that card that causes the whole thing to crumble. Because if you want results and you remove that tool, and I'm not saying all prescription medicine is bad. I mean, I prescribe it, but if that's removed and then you still have sick patients, well then you have to find something different that works. And most of the time, it's right there in front of you.
And then I got to it again. It was really bad. And that's when my daughter says, why don't you go to the chiropractor? And
what did you think when she said that?
I was scared to death. Because the thought of somebody touching my back, pushing my back, moving, doing anything, I mean, nobody could touch my back. Yeah. I was terrified. And I said, okay, well, I'll go. And the chiropractor tells me to lay down on this table, and I say, yeah, right. And I don't think I thought I could do it. So I crawled up on the table and then slowly one leg, the other leg. Eventually I got on my tummy and he started working on me and it hurt. But I was amazed. It was a miracle that I could lay on that table. And I think some of it was, I was terrified. I was so scared. And then after a few sessions, I began to see improvement and improvement.
When the spine is damaged, when it's misaligned or not moving properly, what we refer to as subluxated, it can affect so much more than you think. The spine affects the nervous system, and the nervous system controls every function of the body.
I remember school pictures when all the kids are standing for the school picture and I'm sitting like this for the school picture because that's where I was comfortable. But I mean, I was a child. I didn't realize I was doing that.
Yeah.
I always tell my patients, I don't think you have a headache because of a lack of Tylenol in the bloodstream, right? There's something else going on. Those headaches or whatever symptoms you're having, it's like a warning light going off in the car. And as I tell every single person in the practice, if your oil light came on and you threw some duct tape over that dashboard and continued to drive the car, the engine's gonna blow out. And we do it with our bodies all the time. It sounds ridiculous with our cars, but we do it all the time. We have a headache, let's take a pain med for it. We've got something else that your body's telling you that something's going on, let's take another medication to cover it up. No, you know what? Your body is so smart and so intelligent and it's giving you all of the information that you need. So let's pay attention to it and allow it to heal the right way.
It was just really my posture, and I walked, I was always walking forward. My center of balance wasn't here, it was here. But the more exercises I do and the better I get, the straighter I get.
Nobody asks, do you see a dentist? There's a reason that nobody asks that, and that was patient education over decades by an industry that was moving away from treating illness towards prevention. Chiropractic's a few decades behind that in educating our consumer or patient in and around spinal decay and degeneration. We all know that we should be brushing our teeth on a regular basis, see a dental provider on a regular basis to prevent and maintain any kind of oral disease. You could see your teeth. People understand, you know, if your grill is jacked up, we know it. You can't see your spine. The next step is to get them to take action and, you know, go to a professional who could actually peek in and see how their spine nerve system is functioning.
I could move better. Yeah. It wasn't just that the pain was better, but I could move. I could, and then with exercises that I got to do, bending down the first times was not easy, and then I kept doing more, and the little thing they give you to wobble and exercise, and I was able to move.
Yeah.
And if I feel like I'm hurting or starting to hurt, instead of going for the Advil, I go for the wobble.
There was one study that came out in 2007 that actually showed two groups. One group had a chiropractor as their primary care doctor, one that they went to frequently for things that would come up. Another group that went to the medical doctor primarily. And they measured, they followed these two groups of people, and that after a certain period of time, they looked at the results in terms of what are their numbers look like. The group that considered the chiropractor had 62% less surgeries, 60% less visits into a hospital, and the most astonishing was they had 85% less pharmaceutical costs. So the people that saw a chiropractor on a regular basis compared to those who saw a medical doctor had 85% less pharmaceutical costs. This is the stuff that gets excited, because we now know then if we could start to get this information to more people, that could change the fabric of an entire culture.
And what do you think would have happened if you could have got chiropractic then, right then when you were a child?
Oh heavens, who knows? Yeah. Maybe I wouldn't be where I was at this point. I wish I would have gone 30 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. But even at my age, you know, if I can get better, other people can get better when they're younger.
Right.
No, don't wait.
The chronic sitting and the chronic usage of phones that's going on in today's world, and the copious amounts of stress that people are under in today's world, I think is going to take people out earlier. Let's pretend that our generation does live longer in age. The quality, though, isn't going to be as good. So what's more important to me is not necessarily the quantity of my life, because that will probably go up based on advancements in medicine. But what is most likely going to go down? Quality of life.
It is not old's fault. Stop blaming old for the challenges that you may be having. It's so funny, we see people all the time in our practice where you'll see a 30-year-old that says, oh, I'm so old. And you'll see an 80-year-old who's like, man, I feel great. It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with your choices, your responsibility, how you take care of yourself. Are you sitting on the couch 24/7 playing games? Or are you up moving around? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you getting adjusted? Are you adjusting your lifestyle? This is so important if you want to not be at risk for yourself. And listen, there's a lot of parents who are raising neurologically damaged kids who are becoming, the parents are becoming neurologically damaged. Well, who's going to take care of you if you're raising neurologically damaged kids? It's a longevity crisis that we have in this country.
If I, at almost 64, feel like I'm, in my mid-40s at best and can perform at a high level in pretty much anything and everything that I do, I start telling people, they say, oh, you look good for almost 64. I said, guess what? That's what almost 64 is supposed to look like. This is the normal. What we see in people that haven't lived that level of lifestyle, they look so much older than their age. And so the people in the general public have now assumed that a 65-year-old is supposed to look old, when in fact, they're supposed to look like they're 65 and still vibrant.
One thing that makes me a little sad is that doctors don't work closer with chiropractors. I never had a doctor tell me to go to the chiropractor. They would tell me to go to physical therapy, and I would go there for 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks doesn't cut it. If I could go there for the rest of my life, it'd be wonderful. But with chiropractic, it's just a way of life. It isn't just a 2-week fix. I think that's a huge difference.
Yeah. I thought when I started to really think different and started to get clinical results, I thought everybody was going to just flood to it. People did. The medical profession didn't. Because you know why? It started to actually do what? They had to give up their current level of thinking of why they even went to be a doc or things like that to do it. Then as we started to really make a big impact and started to have clinics all over the country, next thing you know, I started to get massive amount of hate mail. Because when you talk about not lowering a fever and a mom does, they initially take offense that you're calling them a bad mom. And I'm saying, no, I gotta get you to think a different way, because you don't wanna end up on the result end of constantly raising your kids or raising your family or doing things that are gonna lead to where everybody is today, which is what? All-time high rates of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, infertility that way. And how did all that get there? It wasn't because we lacked healthcare. See, people say, well, just make universal for everybody. That thinking dominates, and as long as that thinking dominates, it's going to lead to the same way that we are today. I think we need a better way and a different way of thinking.
You may think you're too old to change. You may think that your kids have too many habits and they can't change. That's not true, because the second you make these changes, if you change the way you eat, for example, if you eat too much constantly, then your innate intelligence, it doesn't kill you because you overate. Your stomach doesn't explode with blood and guts flying all over the place. Your body adapts. Why does it adapt? Because it has an innate intelligence and it starts to pack on the pounds instead of killing you. Well, if you change back and change your choices, then your innate will adapt back. Your intelligence will adapt back. So it doesn't matter how you got here if you're willing to change and find new healthcare leadership with many of the doctors and the providers, the chiropractors that are behind this cause.
My biggest thing, I think, for a solution for people to figure things out is we've all got to take responsibility for our own health. That's the first thing. We can never put our health into somebody else's hands. So if you think it's going to be your doctor that's going to heal you, whether it's your medical doctor, whether it's your chiropractor, you've got to take your own responsibility first. Second, start doing your own research. Start digging into what some of the side effects are. Start digging in to see how things are happening and why whatever that you're taking is ending up that way. Is the drug that you're taking even written for what you're taking it for, right? Or is it being off-labeled on something else? Like, start digging and start taking action. Because as I tell every single one of our patients, every decision you make today impacts the quality of your life 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road. And so unfortunately, we have a generation of people that are 90 and 100 years old right now, and they're decrepit in nursing homes because they outlived their life expectancy rate. They never intended to live that long, and now their health is not good, right? We're getting the advanced knowledge. So do you want to be decrepit at 90, or do you want to be healthy and active at 90? You have the opportunity to literally change the course of your life, and it just begins today with that first decision.
I have a wonderful life, and I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful. I could do a lot of things that I couldn't do before. I can pick up my puppy and I can go for walks. And I just had a great granddaughter, little Mia, and I can pick her up, actually carry her and go sit on, which I couldn't do before. So I'm just thankful. It's been a big change in my life.
I gotta give you a hug. She was always looking for a pill. She was always looking for the next magical solution that she could put in her body and would just fix everything. And I realized that that's not reality. So if there's a better way out there, a better way to live, way to extend life and improve quality of life, then we have to find it.
Imagine what the world would be like if people, the general population, understood what people like me understand. Imagine what the health of individuals would be like if they started living what we refer to as a wellness/a chiropractic lifestyle. I would tell humanity, number one, be responsible. Number two, make sure you get your spine and nervous system checked by a chiropractor on a regular basis. And the third thing, teach that. I don't want to hear the statement anymore, why didn't anybody tell me? Once you know, don't keep it to yourself. Tell everybody. Let's create a healthier planet together.
All right, I'm not going to make you watch all the credits there. I hope you enjoyed that. I thought it turned out amazingly well, and that's exactly what I want my patients to know, my patients to hear. And if you liked that film, you are going to absolutely love the movie because it is that times 10. Like, that was one story out of all of them that we filmed, and that will not be in the movie. So like I said, that's what you just watched is a totally different movie than the feature-length film, although the feature-length film is, like I said, that times 10. So you're going to love the film if you like that. I hope, guys, that you'll join with us. Help us to share this message. Help us be able to put some funds behind the movie to advertise this, to get this out to more people. It's vitally important that they hear this message. So there's a link on this page. To become a partner, it's only $279. Again, how much is that compared to an entire chiropractic overhead? You could help us change the world. You could help us improve chiropractic in the profession by investing in this this movie program. You're gonna get into our private group, Facebook private group. So we're gonna work together to build an amazing world premiere where we'll launch this movie in your community, in your office. You can help us to get it into theaters there. We're going to work together to be able to get it in front of as many people as we can, and a private Facebook group where we stay in touch, and I'll go live in there to give you all the updates on how it's going. We've already created a how to do an amazing movie event in your office. So everything you need to know, from how do you prepare, how long do you start preparing before, the flyers you need, what emails you need to send out. And we just started this because we figured out we've got to start putting some money into advertising this movie. How can we raise some of those funds? And so we created this program. I interviewed docs that had already done this with some different documentaries that had 300, 400 people come out to their event at their local theater. and I found out how they do it, how they promote it, how they get all these people there. And we put it in this package to be able to help all of us do this in our community. And you get all of that when you become a partner. And like I said, we're still filling up that membership site. So as soon as we come out with more promotional material, it'll be inside that membership site. It'll be there for you to be able to get. So we're adding to it as we go. But there's already some promotional materials in there. You already get access to that film, the 25-minute film, Becky's Story, that you just saw. As soon as you become a partner, you can log in and you can actually play that. You could start a movie night next week if you wanted to in your office and be able to play that Becky's Story in your office. You'll also, I created a share funnel. So if you use ClickFunnels, I created a ClickFunnel that you can actually just transfer over to your account, and you can use a Better Way share funnel. All of that you get access to for becoming a partner. I'm actually including my Power of Proof testimonial program. It shows you how to get testimonials from your patients. And here's why we do that. So in a movie theater, and you can do it in your office as well, before every movie, what do they play? Previews, right? Well, what we want you to do is actually get a ton of testimonials from your patients. And before the movie, instead of previews, what you'll do is you'll play your testimonials, right? So before the movie, you're playing testimonials as people are coming in, and then they watch the movie, and they get fired up about chiropractic, and then at the end, we've got the scripts for you to be able to say, look, if you want to get your spine and nervous system checked, that's what we are experts in doing, and then you can give your pitch, and you can sign up exams at every movie event that you do. Grow your practice through movie events. It works great. I've had a ton of doctors that I interviewed say that was one of the biggest promotional things they did all year was big movie events. And this is going to be the perfect movie to do that, because it will increase your conversion rates just after they watch the movie, right? And we have email templates, social media posts, templates that we're including in that partner package as well. And like I said, we'll make more and more templates and posts and email and scripts, and all of it will go in that membership site. We're just getting started with this, but I hope you'll be with us on the ground floor and help us to share this with more people. If you have any questions at all, just let me know. I know there's a chat here that I don't see anybody chatting in right now. So if you have any questions, just pop it in the chat there. If not, I hope you enjoyed this webinar. I hope you enjoyed that movie. And I hope you'll consider becoming a partner and joining with us to help us get the feature-length film out to more people, and really, bottom line, ultimately help get the message of chiropractic and just the true message of where health really comes from out to the public. So thanks again for your time. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great night.